Hey there, fellow adult collectors. Welcome back. David Eon and the stunning Miss Lady Pop Hunter here with another virtual video discussion to share with the nostalgic collecting community. And today we're talking about the art of vinyl. Vinyl records, that is, which went away for a long time, got forgotten about almost completely as people phased into CDs, and then CDs started going away. People weren't collecting compact discs anymore because hell, you could just stream your music, and so who gives a damn, right? And vinyl kind of made a comeback for a while, although there are no more record stores. Not really. At least I don't know where there's one. But if there are record stores, it's, or like you see sometimes in antique malls, they have people that have a record section. It's all going to be vintage stuff. And they have modern records, like we have a couple of examples here. Like this came from Walmart.
Came from Target.
Oh, Target. Yeah, well, we got a couple of Walmart too, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they have the look and the feel of vintage vinyl, but
yeah, they look like that.
I don't think they're vinyl. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't sound the same. And quite frankly, these skip all over the place.
Yeah, brand new, fresh out of the pack, and it's skipping. And then we have some.
Every one of these, like, we've gotten new collections from Walmart, Target, whatever. They all skip. Yeah,
like this one we bought in a dollar bin. Scratched to death.
Yeah.
Doesn't skip at all.
Exactly. And that's amazing.
At all.
So what did they program skips into this stuff to make us feel nostalgic? We never liked it when it skipped, okay? We never liked that.
No.
But and that's funny because we do love doing that, and we'd love to do that again sometime soon. That one antique mall that we went to, that was out by Second Chance Toys. We did a tour of Second Chance Toys, and we did a tour of that antique mall that was nearby, actually.
And it had like a ton of little stores,
the alcoves,
full of vintage records. We didn't even look to see how much they cost.
Yeah.
But
and we planning on going back.
Yeah. But we went to another where we bought a bunch that we have here.
Yeah.
And they had them for like $1. Yeah, it was a flea market, and they had a record store in there.
Just flipping through the box here.
The guy had records for like $1.
Come on. And there's some people that collect these for the covers too. The cover art on a lot of albums is really interesting, and there are people that like to do that. But I would totally listen to Mickey Mouse freaking Disco. Okay, I would put this on the record player. And by the way, we have a vintage and a modern record player, and those new ones still skip, and the old ones typically do not. And got scuffs and scratches all over them, so I don't know what it is. Has anyone else experienced that? Because you can see that is not like perfect, but it plays.
Yeah, it plays great.
Smack new vinyl from like Walmart or whatever, and like this one.
Yeah, that's from Walmart.
Every song it skips, and it stays in that groove. It stays in that damn groove, and it's like, oh my God, is it gonna skip over? Never. Never. You gotta lift up and drop the needle again, and that's frustrating. And I'm curious to see if anybody else buys any modern vinyl and has run into that problem and has any suggestions. Has that happened to you? Have you seen that? Do you know what we're talking about, or do we just have the worst freaking luck with modern records?
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing is the nostalgia of going to a record store. Like your favorite artist got a record that just came out, and you go to the record store and you buy either the record or the tape, and then they had the CD. And you had places like Blockbuster Music. You had another one that was really big. I can't think of the name
Sam
of
Goody's.
Yeah, that was a big one. Best Buy had a huge.
Best Buy doesn't have nothing
They
anymore.
stopped selling CDs.
TVs and
And I think they
refrigerators.
stopped selling DVDs too, because
They have
they
a
had
small section. It's like an
yeah,
aisle now.
they used to have a huge section of not records, but CDs and
Yeah.
DVDs, and that's gone. And so you
We
don't even
move away
have the
from,
record store no
they
more.
move us away from physical media. But
Yeah.
I remember that being a kid and going to the record stores and
Mhm.
things like that. And, you know, back when you could listen, well, once upon a time they had the demo. And you
Yeah.
could, this is going way back. You know, you're talking like
We have a demo record.
50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. And you could, they had a demo and it was in the front. Yeah, this is a demo.
Demo record of
And this is the one
Houdini.
this is the one you could play. Yeah, Houdini. Every version of the track of that particular song. But you put the headphones on and you put it on an actual record player in a booth, and you could sit there and listen to it to decide if you wanted to buy that album. They'd let you basically try it out. And then as technology got better, they got it so that it was set up, but you would only listen to a few tracks, not the whole song usually, and you could select from a song list when they still had
They
the
used to
record
do that
stores.
at Walmart. Walmart used to
Really?
have that.
I
They
don't remember
used
that.
to. Walmart used to have that, but it was a big thing. You go out and you listen to your music. You had your records, a collection of tapes, CDs, or whatever. And now all of that stuff is just gone. FYE still sells, and they got a good selection of DVDs. I
Yeah,
don't know about
it's all used, but you know
CDs.
that's cool, but it's all freaking used.
Not, yeah.
I don't know if they
I
have
don't
new
know if they have
stuff.
new
Not
stuff.
hardly,
Yeah.
but you know it's like going to a used bookstore and they have the
Yeah.
audiovisual department.
Yeah.
You know, half price books or someplace
Half
like
price
that.
books, but they want a lot.
They
And
do.
they
They're
charge you,
expensive on
yeah,
the
they charge
media,
you by who it is. They don't have a set
and they
price.
don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And it's good though if you're into vinyl though that
Mm-hmm.
it's often still fairly cheap because little value is put into it unless it's something extremely rare
Mm-hmm.
or it's like flawless, maybe even sealed, and then you can get a little money for it. But most of the vinyl, I mean, we pick them up in Goodwill. We
Yeah.
pick them up in like flea markets. Sell it for $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
It's been totally forgotten, and there's something about it. You know, they have the digital music now, and you listen to digitally restored and remastered and this and that, and there's something missing, and there's something about it, something about that crackle.
Yeah, and the new
Yeah,
records don't have that crackle. And I
yeah, they
remember
don't.
when we got some records here from Target or Walmart or whatever, and we were listening to it, and you're like, okay. And then we bought a used record from like Goodwill, and we put it on, and you heard that crackle, and I was like,
That little
that's what's
static crackle
yeah.
just before the music starts.
And I was like, that's what was missing from the one we bought at Walmart, because you didn't
Yeah,
hear that. You just, you heard the music. It was clear. It was crisp. You
until it
know,
started skipping.
yeah, until it started skipping. But it was clear
Yeah,
and it
okay.
was crisp.
Uh-huh.
So you had that, but you still didn't get that full effect. The full effect came when we bought the used record from like Goodwill or somewhere, the thrift store, or the flea market,
Yeah,
or something like
and
that.
there's something about that too, about the vinyl and the nostalgia of the vinyl. It meant something. Records were a big deal. Once upon
Mhm.
a time, it was even popular for celebrities to cut an album, even if they couldn't sing. Everybody had an album out, like who is it? William Shatner and
Mhm.
Leonard Nimoy had records out. Nichelle Nichols had a record. You see what I'm saying, from Star Trek.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's where the making fun of William Shatner and the I'm going to talk like this comes from from his record albums, not really so much from Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Look up, because I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or whatever. Look up William Shatner, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, or William Shatner, Rocket Man, because he could not sing, so he would do like a dramatic read of the lyrics. And that's where that talking like this, I'm William Shatner, comes from. Because that's how he would do the dramatic reads on those records. And that's what people were making fun of. And they tied it into Star Trek, but he didn't do that on Star Trek so much as he did on those albums. They are hilarious to listen to, though, because he sounds crazy doing that. Leonard Nimoy, by the way, could sing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he could actually sing, but everybody had an album. That was the thing. And the end of that was in the 80s, because Don Johnson had an album.
Eddie
Murphy had an album. They could sing.
Yeah.
But nobody
Patrick Swayze, I like him.
He could, yeah, that's right. He sang. He had cut an album. No one took them seriously because that was kind of fading away at that point. That oh well, let's show that you can sing too. Let's cut an album, so and so, and they would cut a record album. And it's like, really? But you'd be surprised how many. Jerry Lewis had an album, who also could sing, by the way. Surprisingly, look up Jerry Lewis Sings. I think that was his first album.
Yeah, but the whole event of going out and buying the record from your favorite artist, now you go on YouTube, you can download it, or you
just
go on
watch it.
Yeah, you go on
YouTube.
Apple or some kind of streaming service and you download it. They don't even put out a full record no more, because before, you had a record, a tape, a CD, you had about 13 songs on it, and now they put out 1, 2, 3 songs at a time.
And that's going back to the early days, because that was a big thing in the 50s. People would cut an album, and that's why they put it on a 45. We don't have a whole album to put out, so we'll put this out. It's got same song on both sides, or it might have 2 different songs or couple of popular songs on a little 45 record. And so we've gotten back to that mindset of like, oh, here's a song. Name something besides Gangnam Style that Korean guy sang. if you could even think of one, and that's not even a good song.
Well, I mean, he's a Korean artist. In Korea, he might be big.
Yeah.
He might have,
well,
I mean,
you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
But you didn't even understand what he was saying, but you still listened to it because they kept playing it over and over again. It wasn't even good. You just heard it so much, you got used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, but the whole...
album, radio and internet will do that with a song.
God, yeah. They make a great song.
They'll play it. They'll play it and play it and play it until you're sick of it.
Yeah, you just don't want to hear it no more. And it's a really good song. And it just wear you out with it. But I miss going to the record store because it was huge. You can stay in there literally for hours.
Just
you find new stuff
Yeah.
and like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And you talk to the people and they knew what you were talking about. They knew the new albums that were out or the new records that were out. They knew, they might not know everything about that particular artist, but at least they knew, okay, yeah, that's in this section. It's by that artist. It came out. We don't have any more in stock. We do have some in stock. Now...
It's like when you go to GameStop and you ask about a game, and they usually... I'll give GameStop credit for that, if nothing else, because you don't see this very much in most other places now. And you ask them about, hey, have you tried such and such? And it was like, hey, I think Jim used to play at the gym, and they kind of know. They know something about it. And that's one of the few places anymore where you see that. We're seeing it now where even you go to like Lowe's or Home Depot and you ask questions and they're like,
yeah, they don't know.
Let me call so and so and see if he can find someone that might know.
Yeah.
And maybe there's one old guy there who looks like he's 80 shuffling around that kind of knows what you're talking about. And everyone else is just there for a paycheck and they don't know and they don't care. There's something about it too with the it's the truth. She's laughing at me. But there's something about this when you go out back in the day and you pick an album out, and I'll just pull out a random one here. Don't underestimate the Bee Gees, okay? They were actually pretty good.
They were very good.
They have standing records that have not been broken. if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they were best known for the disco era, but they did a lot of other stuff. We like them. But here's a challenge for you. If you were old enough to have been in the vinyl record era, okay, I bet you remember the very first vinyl record you ever bought. But I bet you do not remember the first download you ever put into like an MP3 player.
My first record was a Care Bear record I bought.
We still have it.
Yeah. The only thing I have...
It was the Care Bears around the world, right?
Yep. I have 2 things from my childhood. That record and a blanket from my childhood.
Oh, man.
Only 2 things I have from my childhood.
She had told me about that record, and I went out and found it for her.
Yeah.
And got her a little Fisher Price record player to go with it.
And then we was at my mom's house, my parents' house, and I was just fumbling through, and I found the original record. So I took it, and of course my mom about had a fit, but I took it because it's mine. And
there's a lot of nostalgia there, though.
Yeah.
And you must have listened to that 100 times.
I literally listened to that record every day, like a couple of times a day. I don't know why it was. I had it. It was I bought it when I was in like 2nd, 3rd grade or something.
Yeah.
In school, it was this magazine that would come out like maybe every quarter or something, and it had books in there and it had records, and you can buy the books. And my parents would let me buy things out of that, and I would buy books. And the one time I bought that record, and
that's neat though.
Yeah.
My mother wouldn't let me do that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know the name of that book, but it was like a little magazine.
I know what it is. Yeah, it was like a little magazine. It had like 6 pages in it or something.
Yeah, something like that. And they sold books, and they sold records and tapes and stuff. And my parents would actually let me buy every time. I would buy about 2-3 books.
That's where you get stuff like this.
Yeah, we bought that at a show.
Yeah, it was at the Comic-Con.
I think so.
Like the North Carolina or
show
South
some
Carolina
of the records
Comic-Con.
because you keep on pulling them out.
Yeah, just showing some of what's
might want to see
in this bin here.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of nostalgia. It's an incredible amount of nostalgia.
Yeah.
With the vinyl records, if you grew up during that era. And my first record actually was Thriller.
Oh, okay.
The first one I purchased was Thriller from Michael Jackson.
Oh, wow.
And I bought it from a liquor store. There was a liquor. My mother used to, back when you could do this, okay, showing my age here, when there was no age on cigarettes. And my mother, with her prescribed menthols, cool menthol 100s, would send me down to the liquor store to buy her a couple of packs of cigarettes like every other day. and so I go down there and I'd say 2 packs of cool 100s, and the lady would say, "Who are these for?" And I was like, "My mother sent me to buy them." And she was like, "All right, that's a cool one." They were great, actually. The Monkees were fantastic. That one guy just Mickey, he just passed away.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And they had albums up on the wall, and one of them was Thriller. And I managed to scrape some money together from like bottles and cans that I collected. That's how I got most of my money back then. And I bought the Thriller album. And then one of her boyfriends gave me a couple of records once, and it was the heavy metal soundtrack from the film Heavy Metal. The soundtrack's actually pretty well, whatever you from the movie, but the soundtrack was really good.
One of the best musicals ever.
She loves that movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, this one too.
Yeah.
This is a great musical. We're a fan of like vintage musicals.
Love this one.
You know what?
It's 3 that I like. The King and I, Fiddler on the Roof, and Singing in the Rain is pretty good.
Singing in the Rain. You know what one of my favorites is?
What?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I think we saw that.
Yeah,
together.
we did with Dick Van Dyke. I love Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's a very underrated film. Found this at a thrift store.
Yeah.
But it's a fun movie. When you're a kid and you watch it, and you're like, "What's this?" And then as an adult, I really appreciated it. I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow, this is actually pretty fun." And the bamboo cane dancing scene, one of the best filmed dancing scenes ever. The bamboo cane, you remember, shot all in one shot with multiple camera shots. I'll tell you what, Dick Van Dyke could freaking dance. That was incredible. But he gave me the heavy metal soundtrack, and he gave me, it says disco hits. Hey, you can't go wrong with disco hits, guys.
Yeah.
And the other one he gave me was the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, which also had
That's
really
a good soundtrack,
great
but that
music.
movie was awful.
Yeah, it's hard to watch once you get into the story.
Yeah.
But,
This is Chicago Transit Authority.
Which would eventually become
Them
Chicago. Yeah.
This
that's-
is the one that got "I'm a Man" on it. I love that song. I can listen
I'm
to
a
that.
man. Yes, I am just a man, and I can't help it.
Love
you
you
so.
I can
That's
listen
right.
to that all day. That's a good song. It is a
got a
very good
song?
song.
Another underrated artist. People
Yeah.
pick on this guy. He's really good. This
Yeah.
guy can freaking sing.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a bad actor either.
He was good on the Muppets.
He did a lot of Muppet movies. Muppet made for TV specials, and he was in Oh God with George Burns. They don't know what that is. Does it say? Oh, you got
This was another
off the hook.
this was another demo that we found
Yes.
at Goodwill
or Value Village or
Value
something.
Village or something like that.
And that's this is just what I have in the box here because I pulled it out in case we were going to talk about it.
Yeah. This is another
Tony
demo.
Rock.
Tony Rock. I don't know why we even got this.
Oh, interesting about this. Tony Rock is Chris Rock's brother.
Oh, okay.
His
That's why.
not so famous singer / wannabe comedian brother. Tony Rock. Look it up. I'm serious. She put me in a trance.
We didn't listen to that one yet.
I bet you it will put you in a trance.
Probably. He might can sing.
Nobody.
You never know.
Hey, maybe he can. Eddie Murphy could sing.
Eddie Murphy was good.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy wasn't bad at all, but nobody took it seriously because it was that, like I said, that era was dying. It was going away. People were like, you don't have to put out an album. Who does that? You know? John Travolta. But John Travolta, of course, can also really sing. Remember, he started on stage.
Oh, did he?
So Broadway performer. Yeah, he can sing and dance
Now, we
and
know he
act
can
and
dance.
carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in those dancing movies.
Yeah, people, but of course, people associate him with, like, Welcome Back, Kotter. Although, realistically, it is very difficult to be an actor and portray a complete moron and pull it off. So his character in Welcome Back, Kotter, that's why it was so funny, because you were like, God, what a dope. But I think it's kind of hard to act that good and pull it off. Same as Sheriff Roscoe on Dukes of Hazzard. That guy can act.
Yeah, he's
And so can Boss Hogg, who also acts like a complete nitwit on the show. But those guys are really solid actors if you see them in anything else.
But back to records.
Connections. Because connections.
The nostalgia of just sitting in your house and listening to music. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a time where you were home and you turned on the radio, you listened to the radio or your tapes of records or CDs. And
And
that's
didn't get
kind
flooded
of,
with political garbage.
yeah.
Yeah.
You had some ads, but it didn't I don't think you had as many ads. I really don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember listening to the radio a lot. And I remember you didn't hear the same song in the same hour. Now you listen to the radio, especially the popular stations. When we stop listening to the radio altogether, and now we listen to the internet radio while we're driving. And, you don't get the same song. But I know on the popular stations, you can hear like the same song about 2-3 times in the same hour. And that's like ridiculous. Like,
Are you sure that tight? Maybe not the same hour, but the same day.
No, in the same hour. The popular
I think she's
stations.
exaggerating a little bit.
Talking
I don't
about
know.
the popular
But
stations.
well, you know how it is where they sit there and they tell you that we've got the largest
Yeah.
rock library in whatever city,
Yeah,
and
Georgia. The
and they'll
whole
play
state.
and they'll play like
100
the same
songs a day.
100 songs over and over. They have the may have the largest library, but they're not allowed to play the stuff. They're not playing it, or they let you vote. Oh, we'll vote for the top 3 or whatever. But it is a really tight selection process because she looked it up on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm going to try to vote, and there's a real narrow selection process for that voting.
They tell you, okay, these are the songs you can vote for. And then they put it in order
Yeah.
of who voted how many times for what. But you're going to hear these 10 songs. We just going to put it in the order by what got the highest vote.
Yeah, so whatever. I mean, you're presenting the choices.
Yeah.
I'm not getting to pick at all. The
But-
music's not as good anymore either, I don't think, at all. It lacks a lot of imagination, a lot of
Yeah.
integrity.
Yeah.
It's gotten sleazy.
Yeah.
It's
You
repetitive.
don't understand the words.
Yeah, it's a lot of slurring and like twin speak, they used to call it. And
Like your mouth full of hot rocks.
yeah, I know. Mouthful of shit. I hear some of these guys singing now, and I think of that scene from Batman Begins with Christian Bale, Batman, and the person had the fear gas, and he's looking at Batman, and Batman's talking. When he's talking, all this black mush is dripping out of his mouth while he's speaking, and the guy's terrified. I see that when I hear some of these people singing, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? The adjustments that they make to the tempo so that all the tempos are even instead of variables, so it's like a blast of noise and you can't even pick the instruments out. It's terrible.
We're talking about record store.
I know, you
and,
keep getting me off track.
And what happened, well, in the nostalgia of listening to music and buying
Or
records.
like back in the day when you had nothing to do on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
You'd
you
sit on the floor in front of your record player and you'd flip through the albums and say, you know what, I think I want to listen to this one. And you didn't just hand pick out a selection of songs. You were comfortable letting the whole side play.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, the one thing I will say that modern technology has made it, I guess, easier and more convenient is that you can bring all of your music into one spot and listen to it easier. Like with the record, you listen, and then when that side is over, you have to flip it over. When that whole record is done, then you go and change it. But with modern technology, because it's on a hard drive or whatever,
Yeah.
you could just kind of let it play, and it'll go from one song, and you can create a playlist. That's convenient. I do like that.
We had that, though. It was called mixtapes.
Yeah, but a mixtape, you can only get like, what, 10, 15 songs on
Oh,
there, depending
well,
on
we
the length
didn't
of the song.
care.
I'm
We didn't
just
know the
talking about,
difference.
like, if you're driving and you got to drive 4 hours, you can put on a playlist and it'll play the whole 4 hours without you touching it again.
Yeah.
So I like that convenience. But I like sitting down, going through the records, looking at it, you're reading the inside. Like when you open it up. Let me see. This one opens? No, let me
No, that
find
one
one that
doesn't.
opens up. And you open it up and you can read the inside cover. If I can find one that opens up.
That one.
This opens.
Yeah.
You open it up like this. And you can look at the pictures.
It's got all the bios, and sometimes it would
Yeah,
have.
you got all of the words.
Yeah, sometimes it
And
had
this one got the lyrics
Yeah.
in there, and you can read the lyrics as they're singing and sing along, and that's cool. And you don't get that anymore. And that's one thing I did like about.
Look how old these guys look in these outfits. I mean, seriously.
And I remember when I bought tapes and CDs, I would read the jacket. Because, I would read through the whole jacket
Yeah.
to see what was. But now,
You don't have it.
yeah, you don't even get a physical anything. You just download it. You don't really know the name of the song, the lyrics. You got to look it up on YouTube to see what the lyrics
Oh
are.
man.
It's just, I don't know. It felt like something was taken away.
Yeah.
Again, the convenience is nice for certain things. When you're driving or when you're at work, you can just put something on and it'll play all day. But, when you're sitting at home and you're like, okay, let's just listen to some music to pull out the records or whatever. You could just sit there and flip through it and reminisce and do all that.
Which we do down here. We do spend time down here. We hang out. We move things around and clean up and talk and put a record on the record player and just listen to it. And, brings you back.
Yeah.
Brings you back, which is, what it's all about for us here. It's all our little sanctuary that we share on the channel with a lot of people that kind of need the same thing.
Yeah.
You kind of need the same thing. You need some place to go where people aren't beating you to death with their political and social views constantly.
And the music isn't like some songs can get kind of political. Older songs I'm talking about. But it seemed like nowadays all the songs got an agenda almost.
Yeah, it feels that way sometimes.
It feels like that where before you might get one or two songs from
like
an
American
artist.
Woman was a political song, for example. But it's a decent song.
Yeah. In War by Isley Brothers, they had one. That was political. But it wasn't the whole record.
No, they had their point and they moved on.
Yeah, and then it went on to something else, But, those things we miss.
Yeah. There's always something to miss. As you get older and you realize that change isn't always good. And you lose more than you gain. And that's how come now, as I've gotten older, I understand why it is. When I was young, old folks were always grumpy. And I just wonder, why are these people so cranky all the time? Now I know. Now I know why, because I'm a cranky old man.
Yeah.
Frustrated with the direction the world turns in. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But
and music is a good escape.
Yeah, it can be. It'll bring you back.
It can be. But again, some songs can really, put the weight on you because it feels like, okay, I'm trying to escape from the world and the politics, but this is bringing it back to my doorstep.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why we listen to the old music. We watch the old shows. We did a video talking about that before. Our viewing habits and our affinity for shows from the 60s, 70s, and 80s primarily. Better programming. Programming. I think the music was better. And I don't think it's, you can be sort of biased. We can be kind of biased because we grew up in that era. But I think there's more to it than that. I think it was just better. It was better written. It was more honest. It was more fun. And I think that the younger generation now is missing out on a lot.
Yeah.
They really are. But, I don't know, guys. What do you think? What was your first album purchase?
Yeah.
Again, there's that challenge. I bet you remember the first album you ever bought, but I bet you do not remember the first download that you ever streamed.
I don't know. What
See? I couldn't even name the first album I streamed. But I remember the first record, the second, the third. I remember the records that my mother had in her collection that I used to listen to.
Yeah.
That because I guess at some point she worked in a record store. She had a huge collection of vinyl. She really did. And I would take them into my room and listen to them and then get yelled at for touching her records. But it's another story.
Yeah, for another time.
Yeah, but I mean, ABBA and the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, a lot of great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of great stuff. What do you think, guys? What was the first record that you ever bought? Did you used to go to record stores? Were you old enough? Do you have a record player now? And do you hunt for vinyl?
Yeah.
You know, do you go to the...
But not just records, but tapes and CDs, because those are still,
Yeah.
you know, in that wheelhouse.
Anybody still collecting 8-tracks?
No.
Oh, come on.
I got a
8-track.
tape.
Yeah, cassette tapes. Not the reel-to-reel kind.
Cassette tape.
Because it started off with the reel-to-reel. It came in a box like this, and it was about so big. Some of you might be old enough to remember that.
Oh,
And
this is the tapes that came with that record player
yeah,
we
they
bought.
were in the record player. And then it
Yeah.
went to 8-track, and then it went to the cassette tapes. And that's all gone away. I don't think vinyl made a comeback. I don't think cassette tapes did.
No, I
Not that
don't
I've-
think cassette tapes are going to
No.
make a comeback.
Probably not. Probably not, unfortunately. But
CDs might. I
CDs
doubt
are
it.
still around, but they just don't sell anymore. They don't sell like they used to because everybody streams everything. And I'll
I
tell you what,
know.
you know, if anything ever happened and
I got my CDs.
that big solar flare came and then nothing worked,
Yeah.
all that cloud was erased,
Ugh.
and you have no books and no
Mm.
DVDs and no CDs or anything because everything was on Kindle or whatever,
Yeah.
then hey, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I got my CDs.
There's that meme where the one guy is like, he looks all frustrated.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, my streaming service isn't working. I can't listen to I can't see my movie," or something like
Yeah.
that. And then they show the guy down in the bottom box, and he's got like a wall of DVDs, and he was like, "Funny, I don't have that problem."
I know.
There you go.
Buy that stuff now while it's fairly cheap.
Yeah, prices have come down quite a bit.
And just collect it, you know, put it away, set it in a corner. So if something come up, you're ready.
Yeah, you're ready. But let us know what you think. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got anything out of it. We hope that you did. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you knew, all that good stuff. Check out some of our other videos for more discussions, other topics, tours, toy discussions, all sorts of things that we do here. Vintage commercials. I put up lots of blocks of vintage commercials. That's a whole discussion right there. Those old commercials are fun. It's
Yeah.
not like today where everything is an insurance commercial or
Medicine.
or medication.
Yeah.
That gets old fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. And if that's it, then what more can I say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.